Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Happy Thursday.
Happy Thursday. And first of all, we got to acknowledge some mothers out here. This is Mother's Day. It's coming up. It is on Sunday. I want to give a big shout out to my mom, Paulette Mullen. She is the reason for the season.
Yes, she and every other mother in the country is a reason for the season. And so make sure that you give a shout out to your mothers. Give your mother some love this Mother's Day. If you don't do anything in general, just women love flowers, mother loves flowers, but really mothers love a mother's time, something special done for them, breakfast in bed, dinner cooked, picnics. I'm giving y'all some look. I'm giving y'all some tea. Spending time with your mother. That's no better gift than just spending some quality time with your mom. If you don't, and make sure your mother feels loved. We give out and pour out. Look, our kids aren't always as thoughtful about mothers and Mother's Day, and so shout out to all the mothers. And if you don't have kids, treat yourself. If your kids aren't with you or in town or whatever, make sure that you treat yourself well on Mother's Day. All you mothers, and there's all types of mothers, pseudo mothers, stand-in mothers, adoptive mothers, foster mothers. So just shout out to all the mothers that are doing the job every day to raise good people. That's Absolutely. Our job.
What about your mom?
Oh, my mom. Shout out to my mom. Heavenly shout out to there she is. Heavenly shout out to my mom, Laverne Harden. Oh, man, she's been gone since like 2019.
Seems like yesterday, right?
It just seems like yesterday. But my mom was a lot of people know my mom. Shout out to my mom. She was a pinnacle of the community and the community in her churches. So, yeah, we miss her. We love you, Mom. Shout out Laverne Harden.
All right. So what are we talking about?
So it's May, and we have switched gears into May, and so there's a lot of stuff we want to cover for May, but one of the things for May is Mental Health Awareness Month. Mental Health Awareness Month. Y'all, this is a very important topic because your mental wellness is everything. Really, everything stems from your mental, how you feel about stuff, think about stuff, and your mental is kind of makes or break you. So I think, remember when we went through COVID? I think COVID was a real test of mental state, right? Because you either had to pivot and do something to like bide your time. Everybody was locked down. A lot of people went into home decor and DIY projects. What did you do during COVID?
During COVID, I did kind of what we're doing. I reached out into the world community over video and broadcasting and things like that because I said, well, everybody's in the 2x2 world. Let's reach out. And there was a lot of that going on because how are you going to talk to anybody? I had to do some socialization, so that's what I was doing. I know it was driving you crazy not to socialize. I'm a social butterfly, but this one here, oh my God. So yeah, I did projects. I mean, I like built my space, right? I was like, if I got to be in the house all the time, that's when I redid my whole living room. So up until that point, my living room was like my mom's living room, which is crazy. Like you grow up having your house done a certain way. So I grew up in a house where the living room, you only sat in when company came over. The insurance man came over to sign papers, and somebody special stops by. You can go into the living room. We had to keep that baby dusted, and everything had to be like pristine at all times for company. So I kind of had that kind of living room. Everything is very feng shui, 2 chairs, 2 in-stands, a couch, and a coffee table. Just like that. So y'all probably still got that set up in your house. Some people do. It's the museum piece. I called it you just couldn't touch that room. My grandmother was totally like
that. You had a room like that? Your grandmother had a room like that? Oh my God.
We ran past that room. We knew.
Don't play in that room, no. Right? Okay. So anyway, those things just never rub off on you, But COVID just taught us just to really to reconnect or redo some things, but it also tested your mental health.
Yes,
if you were a person that maybe you had a little fragile mental health, it might have caused some depression. During that time, you might have went into a different headspace, just feeling disconnected and all of that. Remember, we couldn't reach out to grandparents and old people. And
the biggest thing
that was so crazy over time.
That got me. I mean, it really kind of put me in a little bit of depression is when people did get sick. They went to the hospital. They were actually dying, and you could not be with them. That disconnection.
Yeah. If you got sick and had to, you couldn't go into the hospital. You couldn't even mask up and touch them. You could touch them through the window. We were showing all these people like talking through the window and sending signs up, and So shout out to all those people who were going through treatment during that time. That was a real hard time. Some of our ladies actually were going through treatment. But all I have to say, it just tests your mental health and a lot of things like that. That was just like the world test for mental health. Like, what are you going to do with your time? What are you going to do with yourself? How are you going to stay connected, but safe? Remember, everything was safe. Remember, give me 6 foot.
Hell, 6 feet, 6 feet. Yeah.
That seems like yesterday, but I remember being adamant about it. I was like, people get all up on it. You'd be like, can you just back it up?
I just know toward the end, I was done with the mask. I was like, I can't do this anymore.
Mask was breaking out
real air.
I know. But people were so contagious. It was really.
I only caught it once, thank God, but it was later. It wasn't that first strain.
Me, mine too.
And of course, it was a lot of. I was more concerned about my kids. I think my grandchild was actually born during COVID.
And that's sad.
Yeah.
I mean, again, disconnect. You couldn't have family around for that, and kind of isolated.
So my daughter's husband could not be in the room,
birthing room.
No.
That was sad.
Yeah.
Well, it definitely tested your health, so your mental health. So all that to say is, be patient with yourself. Give yourself a lot of grace when it comes to your mental health. Just make sure everything is good with yourself. Do self check-ins, because mental health affects your body, obviously affects your wealth and your relationships.
Yeah.
And so you want to be just conscious of it. If your mind is off, everything that connects with you is off.
Yeah.
Right. Everything is off. So mindset is very focused. So mental health affects the body, of course, right? So you feel stress, you can feel the physical stresses of having a bad mental health. Anxiety is a big word right now. People are anxious, and people are getting medications for anxiety. And so that's mental health. That's like you're overwhelmed with the things of the world. And so it's making you very anxious to the point where it's affecting your lifestyle and your life, right? It's affecting your body in terms of like your digestive system. Sleep, it affects sleep. It reduces your energy and your immune system. So if your mental health isn't healthy, it just affects the whole body.
I'll give us some tips today. Just one tip: stop watching the news.
Oh,
I mean, literally, you need to be informed, but you don't need to consume that type of information.
Especially
the time.
Especially the news that's comes
these days.
Our government that's in charge, and other than just ludicrousness that's going on. Yeah.
It's just, you can find out. I mean, you need to be informed to a certain degree, but it's depressing. It can take you down. I used to see this. My grandmother would sit there and she would consume the news all the time and say, Grandma, those things aren't happening to us. They're happening to certain other people, we can pray for that, but they're not happening to us. We don't need to bring in depression. We don't need to absorb all of that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Right. So I'd say take some steps to turn off that tube, turn on to something else more positive that's going to bring you up.
Yeah. Watch your comedies. Watch comedies and things that just going to make you laughing is therapeutic, right?
Yes,
so to find your favorite, what's your favorite comedy?
Oh man, I got a lot of favorite comedies.
I like that one with Queen Latifah. I don't even know what it is. It's called something with Queen Latifah's in it, and she's like, just get out of jail, and she married. What's his name? You wild and crazy guy, Steve Martin. And Steve Martin are together, and it's just that's the funniest show. Just to Google Queen Latifah and Steve Martin, whatever that is.
I'm a Harlem Nights guy. I can watch Harlem Nights.
Oh my God, but they cuss so much in Harlem Nights.
They might, but
every word. It was funny.
It was hilarious.
And they slapped each other like, it's not violence. Harlem Nights was violent. It was violent. But do that. Do those things that click the positive things in your body. Laugh. Go to a comedy show. Replace all that negative, doldrum, like bad negative news. Replace it with fun stuff that makes you laugh.
Right.
That's a good tip. Right. That's a real good tip. And just remember, your body keeps score. If you're not thinking that you're stressed, or you're not thinking that you have good mental health, your body will start telling you, right? Your body is, it really shows up in long-term things. It can show up in heart conditions and high blood pressure and tension and just depression and other anxiety and mental illnesses.
I feel it. I have to be intentional about either breathing deep. Just to and always understand your mind is always throwing things at you that aren't necessarily real. It just throws these things at you. And it's a cycle of habits. And then if you're like, oh yeah, you know what, that's not real. I remember somebody told me this, and I love the way they said this because I always remember. They said, fear knocks at the door, love answers, no one is there. You got to remember that.
What's that again?
I said, fear knocks at the door.
Uh-huh.
Love answers.
Okay.
There was no one there.
There was
Remember
no one
that. There is no fear, meaning the fear is an illusion.
Oh.
So when you answer the door with love, when you answer the things that you're going through with
okay,
love,
I get it now.
You see?
It took me a minute.
It took you a second to figure that one out.
When you answer with love, the fear goes away.
The fear is just dissolved because it was illusion. Right?
It was all illusion.
It was all illusion.
Well, that's pretty good there, Grant. I like that one. I like that one. So pay attention to your body signals, right? Check in mentally. Check in mentally with yourself. Check in daily mentally. How are you today? Speak to yourself. Speak. That's when good affirmations come in. That's when just checking in to say, how are we feeling? Are we feeling anxious? Are we feeling tired? And really react to your body. Listen to your body. If your body is saying, look, I need a couple of more hours sleep and you just cannot get up, stay asleep. You know what I'm saying? Listen to that. If your body is saying, go to bed early, don't watch the news, go to bed early. Don't watch the news. Like,
Let go of that.
That's a good thing, you know.
Right.
And keeping a routine also helps. You know, you're getting your rest and your movement, like you always say, and your right nutrition. Just kind of keeping your rest, your movement, and the right nutrition just keeps your body regulated, right? It doesn't react to all of the negative things that are in the mental.
And remember to make your own news.
Oh.
We made news, didn't we? We went to Miami. We went to Montego Bay, Jamaica, the 45th. And was our 45th reunion, graduating high school, 1981.
That was so fun, y'all. Can I just say that? That was just so fun. And if you're not connected to your classmates, Class of 81 is special.
Yeah.
Because we are connected to our classmates like no other class, you know, over the years, different high schools, you know, we still are like this. We still got together and had a good time. And so, you know, connection is key.
And it was news.
And it was
headlines.
Was it though? It is one of those headlines. But we did. We came back flashing stuff, and we flooded Facebook and nothing else. It was headline news. So shout out to Class of 81. Yes. And we got our North High Class of 81, just North High, coming up in August. So shout out to all my North High classmates. I'll be seeing y'all soon. Yes. So some tools. Keep breathing. Yep. Breathing always helps you release mental stress. Always count. Do the 4 count. Breathing, the 4 count down, daily walking. I try to walk daily. I've been really bad about that lately. We're going to get back on our routine. Me and my
the weather's right.
Yeah.
No excuse.
And journal. People, you know, I'm not good as journals as I used to be. When I was going through my treatment, I journaled a lot. And so that's really helpful. It's helped you to get the thoughts out of your brain.
Yeah.
And so when I'm stressing at night, I do journal. I get it off and I write down what I need to do because I'm still affected by my sleep. When I'm stressed, it's like, what do you got to do? Get up, write that list down, and go back to sleep. It works.
Yeah.
It works.
Yeah. You got to move it off your plate.
And out of your brain.
Thank you. Now, we're going to talk about wealth. You know, obviously you have the health piece. We always connect our health, right, to wealth in the relationship. So from a wealth perspective, we're talking about mental habits. Remember, it could throw you off your game. You can make a bad decision. Because you're introducing a lot of variables, I would say, that don't need to be there.
Right.
You've got to make decisions. Wealth is going to be something that you have to be intentional about, right? So you've got to make sure that you have the focus. We understand that anxiety is going to create a lot of fear-based decisions. Remember I talked about fear earlier.
Anxiety.
Let's answer these things with love. Let's answer these things with the knowledge that we have and the information. We have knowledge at our fingertips these days. There's no need to not like, hey, I don't know. Put it into AI. AI for a lot of people could be free, right? And you could use the paid version. But right now, you just want to get good information, good knowledge. So no, someone's not going to take advantage of you because they see you are in a weak position because you're based everything on your fears, and they see you a little bit off, and maybe they're not going to take your best interest at heart. So make sure that you get good information, that you understand where you're at from a financial behavior, get to a point of strength where you feel confident. So when you're feeling confident about your health and your wealth, you can make much better decisions, and you're not going to burn out. We see that a lot. People like get, you know, the bills come every month. Here we are, the first of the month of May. Right? People are like, oh my God. Some people are on top, some people on the bottom. Change your situation so that you know what's happening. You know you're going to get through this, because guess what? You got through April, you got through March, you got through February. You're going to get through May as well. You got to be more intentional about it, but don't let the internal clock, bring you down when you can actually take control externally.
Yeah. And your finances already bring a little bit of anxiety. So again, like we talked about before with financing, sometimes you just be ahead of the game and knowing where you stand financially, making sure you're checking your books and just making sure that you're not creating any undue fears and anxiety around your relationships and your wealth. Wealth is always a stressful situation. Your money is always a stressful situation. So, check in weekly with, like we said, with your mental, check in weekly with your bank account, right? Know what you got. Don't see what's your emotional spending triggers. Like a lot of people emotionally spend, right? I'm so glad that I thrift, because that kills my my anxiety around spending. It helps me, like, okay, get the little spending monkey off my back, but I'm still within a super budget, because it's like,
you're not overspending. You're within your budget. It's not going to throw you off. You can be able to handle whatever might come your way, but take those small steps of understanding that when you are off, that's the key takeaway, right? That when you're emotionally stressed out and you're dealing with some things that are weighing on your mental, right? It can cause you to throw you off on your financial gain.
Yeah.
Right. We just came out of taxes. So people got a good snapshot of the entire financial picture that they have. And either that puts you in a positive state or a negative state. But it should put you in a state where, all right, what do I need to do to go forward? Remember to give yourself a little grace. It's hard for everybody. I don't know anybody that gets out there like, I don't have any money problem. That's usually not the case. You have money issues. That's part of the obstacle course of life, but you have to navigate it. You can't just not do anything. You've got to do certain things. So I like your point. Weekly check-in. So you're not doing a yearly check-in with your taxes, because it might be too late, right?
Weekly, because clarification just improves the decision, right? You know exactly where you're at, so you're not guessing. You're not like whatever. And if you can see if you're overspending in a certain area. Like some people overspend with food. They get stressed and they just, they're just buying food, or they're eating food, or eating out more, and which also leads to some bad decision making when you eat out, and what you're choosing to eat out, which affects your nutrition, which affects your body. So it all trickles down, literally from the head down.
And one more thing on the wealth piece, because on this class reunion, we planned this out for an entire year. So that way you had an entire year to really budget how much things are going to cost. One thing that I did, I used one card, just one credit card when I went, because then I have all my expenses and charges in one place. So if anything was out of whack, or if I was overspending, plus I have alerts on my card to be like, hey, Grant, will you slow this down, or did you make this purchase, or what's going on? But I know, so when I get that bill at the end of the month, I'm not stressing about what it is, because I know what it is along the way, and I know what I can do to affect that balance. So just a little tidbit for me from a wealth perspective. Just recognize where you are financially during the whole month, during the week, during the year, so you can do the things you want to do. Because I tell you, when we went to, one thing I learned, remember when our travel agent said, hey, I have another group coming in? I had no idea that other group was coming from Omaha.
I didn't know either. Did they come from Omaha?
They came from Omaha.
Oh, so did the Kingdom them take care of all the
same people that came to the same hotel? I'm looking like that looked like the same place. With the
shout out to what is it?
Well, Tina Watson, God, I can't think of the name of her agency, but she did a wonderful job.
I forgot. We're trying to shout out to Kina. We got to international.
Tina Watson, you got to look her up. She did a great job.
Yeah. So some takeaways from the wealth section is, identify your emotional spending. Right? Because whatever that is, however that looks like, you need to know what that is. So when you start doing it, you be like, okay, check yourself before you wreck yourself, right? Take small steps. Don't try to tackle something big. Just small steps with your finances. Baby steps for everything. Just baby steps to it. Give yourself grace. Always give yourself grace. Weekly check-ins are necessary. And I'm telling you, when you do your weekly check-ins, you'll find out that, there's other stuff that people have been charging on your card and all that kind of stuff. You don't even check you don't notice it till months later, because you're not doing that weekly check-in. I caught a couple of charges for some apps recently. So I'm glad
apps. Check
those weekly apps. So you do your weekly check-ins, and break your goals into steps. Break it down so it's not overwhelming. Nothing's overwhelming. Nothing's going to bring a bunch of anxiety. Just baby steps.
Remember what you said, break the goals, and take, whether it's a 3-month goal, a year goal, break it into steps so they're manageable. They're bite-sized.
It's not calling you mental anguish.
Exactly.
No mental
stressing
anguish.
You out, right?
Yeah.
And that leads us into our relationship portion. And I tell you, if you don't take the time, one thing with me and Tisa, now this was Tisa's birthday, right? So one thing that we did that I really, really enjoyed, and it was her idea. We went to this place called, was it Blue Miami? Was it Super Blue Miami?
Oh, it was called the Blue something.
It was, but
Super
it was
Blue or something.
It was Super Blue.
It was an illusion type of
it.
immersive experience.
How'd you like that?
I loved it. I love that kind of stuff. I am all about the vibe, how I'm feeling. I just felt like I was channeling all that energy. It was all good energy, but it's also very interactive art, right? It was inner art. You can feel we had a laser thing where you can feel the water coming out the laser thing. We were immersed in flowers and all kind of stuff that was coming from the floor to the ceiling to the walls. It was lovely.
How did you like hearing your heartbeat?
Oh, that was crazy. So we've had this thing where you put your hand under a light, and it just all of a sudden it just radiated through the room, and then you can find your specific heartbeat or what was we?
Yeah, it was your signature heartbeat among all these like hundreds of lights.
Yeah, you could find you. It's
and you could find you.
It's cool. Super cool. They had something like that in Omaha that went through Omaha, but I just never caught it. So I'm glad I caught that in Miami.
Got to look for that.
Definitely.
Well, those are ways to improve relationships, right? Relationship with yourself, relationship with who you're with. And you're not over. So when she brought it to my attention, I didn't have anxiety about it. I looked at that and like, no, that's a different experience. That's something I haven't done in my entire life. I want to do that, right? So there was no anxiety, it was no depression, there was no withdrawal. And it was something I was ready to do because I was prepared to do it. It doesn't take me off my game, right? And this was only $30 a person. We're not talking some ridiculous amount of money.
Yeah.
Right. So it's very doable.
Tantalize the senses. That's what you have to do. Because if you don't, anxiety leads to overthinking. Overthinking leads to depression. Depression leads to withdrawal. Wow. So when you're coming to a relationship, if you don't handle those mental cues and don't identify them when you see them happening, it definitely is going to affect your relationship. Definitely going to affect the communication. A lot of people say that I get into my head, so they don't talk to their partner. So you got to be aware of all that kind of stuff. That is definitely, if you are mentally stressed, is going to affect your relationships and how you communicate. So all of that is like personal awareness.
Personal awareness.
Yeah,
man, I like that. Awareness. Those are two big words. I love that. Personal awareness.
Because your inner feelings show outwardly.
Yeah.
If you're dealing with something internally, and even if you don't share it with your partner, it's gonna come out, right? And you got to stop it and know your partner up enough to say something's going on with you. What is it? Kind of help them open that door of communication. A lot of times we just want to be, what do we say? In our feelings.
Yeah.
We say something to the partner.
Our cups are in our feelings.
I'm not sure. I say when you're in your feelings with a relationship, it builds walls. So just get out of your feelings, share with your partner. If you see your partner struggling, go ahead and open that door to say something's going on. Let's talk about it. What's going on.
It all stems from that mental world, right?
Yeah.
So if you're with your partner and you start to see behavior that's not in the norm, and we're talking usually it's negative behavior, then it's time to have open communication. Let's hopefully you're at a point in your relationship that you can have that conversation, so you're not hiding it. Because it's not. One thing I've learned in life, you may think just because you're not saying anything, you're not being direct about it, it's still being communicated.
Yeah.
Right. It's still there.
It shows up through usually anxiety and depression. Anxiety meaning they're really anxious all the time. So if you see your partner really anxious all the time, or every little thing is setting them off, or they just don't seem to be just settled in a peaceful state. That's that anxiety. Or it'll show a depression. They are withdrawn. They're not talking to you. They're in another room. They're in their own head. They're just like, there's no communication going. They're like very withdrawn. Those are also signs that that's a mental illness might be happening. And you should probably ask them to see somebody, open up that communication again and say, do you want to talk to somebody about whatever is going on in your head?
I've had some, like my youngest child, he just got hit. He was in a car accident, right? Yeah. I didn't realize how bad that accident was until I saw the car down there in Florida. And he had rolled it 5 times. It was bad, totally destroyed. But actually seeing the vehicle, I thought it was like, I'm glad he walked away. But what's really behind all that? What is causing him to get into these situations? Sometimes he's younger, right? And I'm not real sure yet what's happening, how he's processing information. and getting himself to a point where he's just not taking care of himself from emotional state, a mental state, that he's either feeling some anxiety or some fear along his life, and that he's doing some extremes. I want to know what I can do, and not have that shame in seeking help.
Yeah, I would say just mention it to him. Just say, you know what, I see how you roll the car. Maybe some other some tips was happening. He was dropping some other little behaviors that made you concerned. And I would just bring those up. It's all about communication. Just to say, son, this is what I see. When I talk to you, you sound different. When I'm with you or whatever, when we didn't get together, whatever you see, just bring those out to him in just a loving way.
Right. So it doesn't withdraw.
Loving way, like we said, open the door with love.
Yeah,
so when it comes to any of these conversations, when it's surrounding mental health, always start with that loving, empathy approach. And that's what it is. It's a father's love and concern that you're coming from. And so just start it from a loving side. I'm just concerned. No judgment, because who knows what's going on with our kids. They're in their 30s. Look, that's also our kids are in their 30s, but they're still growing and they're still filling themselves out and really just growing as people. So they may not know and have the tools to deal with some things. So just offer it up that, if you need to talk to somebody, or if you need to just share with me something that's been bothering you, whatever, just open the door so that mental healing can start. And maybe they'll have some conversations.
I got to stay
connected. Maybe they'll see somebody.
Definitely. I got to stay connected.
Yeah.
See what's on. And some things are beyond, I'm not a mental health professional.
Yeah.
But if that's the case, we got to make sure that that we get the right help.
Right.
Right. Because these things can show up in all kinds of different things that we do, whether we're drinking too much, we're smoking too much, we're spending too much, there's something too much happening.
Right, too much. Too much is going down. Yeah. So it starts with clear communication. So when it comes to any relationship, clear communication is the main thing, right? Yeah. Clear communication. The expectations are out there. The boundaries are out there. Clear communication. Stay connected. Don't try to, if you see that withdrawal happening, say, I'm seeing that you're, being in a room a lot, or I haven't talked, we haven't had a conversation, we haven't went out and did anything. All those things just kind of bring up in a loving way, to just let them know that things are changing. I noticed them, and I want to, be proactive about like what's happening.
I tell you that next stage, you say pause before reacting. I'm telling you, when I first was going to engage with my son, right, and now I'm physical, I'm in the same city as him, and I'm going to go talk to him about the situation that just happened. I'm feeling, some anger, some anxiety, things like that. But when I saw the car, I was like, okay, let me pause. What's more important here? Because I don't think I realized the depth of the situation that was happening. This was a near-death experience, right? That he just went through. He's fine now. He just had a scratch on his eye. And looking at that vehicle was like, wow. So
what kind of car was he in? Sometimes those certain vehicles roll really well, like Subarus, and was it a Jeep?
It was
roll
one of those
good.
new. I think it was an Altima. It was a brand new. I mean, the car was only like 4 or 5 months old.
Right,
it's brand new.
But some of them are like really built to kind of keep you safe during those.
Hey.
And he probably had a seatbelt on.
The windshield completely smashed. Everything. It looked like I don't know how he walked out of that. It looked bad.
He had a seatbelt on. He didn't get ejected. Because during that roll, he could have easily got tossed out. Easily. So that's just a shout out for wear your seatbelt.
Wear your seatbelt.
It definitely can keep you in and save you. And he walked away with a scratch. First of all, grace and mercy from him. Grace and mercy. Angels was around him. But secondly, he had a seatbelt on. And I think one of those things.
But my conversation with him, instead of me now coming from a place of my own fear and anger, I'm like, oh my God, I replaced that with love. Like, okay, what's really happening here? People have accidents all the time. Let's embrace. Let's get through to another level. And if there's something really happening with you, let's just bring it out. But not say, well, you did this or did that. So there's not a defensive thing.
Yeah. So I'm glad that you took a pause.
Took a pause.
Yeah. He was going to be like, what am I doing? I'm alive. Oh, Daddy, I'm alive. And he had to see that card and say, wait, first, he's alive. First, give thanks and grace, and always just give thanks because he's alive. That's the main thing. Just like when you have a fire, you might be like, "Why'd you leave that candle on?" But did everybody get out safe? Did the dog get out? Did everybody stay alive? And that's the main thing. That's the main thing.
Yeah, those are those trigger points, right?
Yeah. And identify your triggers. You know, you might be one of those people who are very like bump, and I'm kind of like that, depending on who I'm talking to, but especially with my kids, I'm kind of like that too. You got to take a little more loving and more empathetic perspective when we're talking with our kids, because our kids are grown. First of all, we can't be blah 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 anymore because they're grown and they're grown. I mean, you can only jump a grown person so much before you have to say, "Well, you grown," and you're going to make your own decisions. So from a parental perspective, take those pauses, come at them with love. And the same thing with your partner, with your kids, with your partners, come at them with love, because you just want the best for these people that you care for. And so, man, just remember, give yourself grace, give them grace when it comes to mental state. Everybody's struggling.
Yeah.
Everybody's struggling.
Life is not easy.
Life is hard.
Yeah, it is.
It's hard.
And you never know when it overwhelms someone.
Right.
That's
this climate, I could see a lot of depression going on. Look, eggs is too high. No eggs. All the gas is too high. The food is too high. Living expenses are.
And we almost got stuck in Jamaica because of Spirit. True story. It was like, oh, we're just going to cancel your flight and give you your money back. Like, I'm stuck in a foreign country. I don't think that's the solution, right? Fend for yourself, right? You got to be able to do that, right?
Yeah. So I wanted to give you guys some takeaways and not only takeaways, but some resources. We always want to give you resources. We didn't have these up there, but the Mental Health Foundations is out there. There's no shame in seeking help. I just want to say that up front. No shame, no judgment in seeking help. Black people kind of have a stigma about mental health, but that's just a general stigma about mental health and seeking help for mental health. Throw that shit out the window. Excuse me, I'm cussing again. Take care of yourself. Right. Get the mental help that you need. Talk to somebody. All counseling and therapy is talking to somebody. Get those demons and those things out your closet. Get rid of that trauma. We all have trauma from childhood or whatever. Deal with that trauma and just get mentally well. And there's no shame in the game. So some local resources are the Mental Health Association of Nebraska. You can always look them up. Heartland Family Ministries and Family Services. Heartland Services has therapy and therapeutic services. So that's just a community-based program that people are in touch with. Heartland Family Ministries. CHI. So CHI, we just found this out recently. So CHI has kind of turned their focus to mental health. So when we went to talk to Mr. Ashby months ago, he kind of informed us that CHI's thing now is mental health. That's their focus. And so we're going to try to do some collaborations with them around mental health. But just know that that's a place that you can go for mental health services is CHI. So Emmanuel, Bergen Mercy, all the CHI behavioral health.
I want a big shout out to Anthony Ashby for bringing that up, because we need this in especially in the North Omaha community, open up these doors. And a big shout out for them for being a key sponsor for Pink Lotus Project Nebraska as well. I see them not only with Pink Lotus, but other organizations to get out there. They're associated with the community because they understand that this is an issue. We need to talk about these things. These are the kind of things we don't need to leave in the closet. Bring these things out, get the situation handled in front of a professional, because we don't want to the opposite. They end up in a facility, they end up in a hospital, but for other reasons than just talking about your mental problem. And now you're in a situation that caused. So big shout out, CHI Health Behavioral Services. Definitely look them up.
Okay, and so the other ones is Boys Town Hotline. They've always been around, always called Boys Town Hotline. And 988 is the new crisis line. So it used to be not 911, 988, just a crisis line for any general mental health issues that you might have. So make sure you take advantage of those resources. They're out here for you. Keep in mind to take care of yourself in your life. Your mental is your life.
Taking care of your mind is how you take care of your life. And I hope someone took my key, because that's what works for me in the door. Like, so when fear comes knocking at your door, remember, answer with love, and it goes away.
And it goes away.
It's just gone.
And it goes away. So again, are we wrapping up our show? I never.
We are wrapping up. Remember Mother's Day this Sunday. Remember, I'm going to be on the Friday at the Village, right?
Right. And speaking of Friday, mental health, the Omaha Cares Mentoring Movement. We are having a mental health summit on Friday, tomorrow morning, from 8 to noon or 12:30. If you haven't signed up, I think we're full, but just know that that's going on. We do that yearly, our mental health summit, Omaha. Shout out to the Omaha Cares Mentoring Movement. Pastor Portia, Deb Shaw, and Dr. Orlando is our founders and our organizers and our officers. So shout out to them. And if you signed up for the summit, I'll see you tomorrow.
All righty. Keep tuning in next week. Remember, if you want to be on the show, you want to be a guest on our show, please reach out to Tisa or myself and Grant McGaw, and we will definitely have a conversation with you and make sure that you're a guest, because we got a lot to share in our community.
Yes, and we want you to share it too.
We do. All right.
Imagine waking up with more energy, a peaceful mind, and relationships that grow stronger every day. That is the vision Tisa Harden and Grant McGaw want to help you achieve, and it all starts with simple, practical steps you can take this week. On health, wealth, and relationships, every episode brings you real stories and trusted experts. Tisa and Grant focus on 3 tactical steps each week. Small, doable moves that protect your health, grow your savings, and bring you closer to the people you love. No complicated rules, just real progress. Try a clinic-to-kitchen swap to boost your energy. Start a money buffer habit that quietly builds your financial confidence. Or try a 1-minute exercise that helps you reconnect with your partner. These quick wins are not chores. They are steps toward a better life. People who try just one intentional step report more energy, less money stress, and evenings full of laughter again. Join Tisa and Grant. Start small, live bigger. Tune in every Thursday at 10 a.m. on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube, and subscribe now.